MANNA's Housing Advocacy Team is a diverse group of volunteers committed to ensuring the availability of affordable housing in Washington, D.C. So some of the things that the Housing Advocacy Team, also known as HAT, focuses on is sort of educating community members so that they can go on to advocate for various affordable housing policies and programs at DC Council and the mayor. So some of these specific policies and programs that HAT has focused on in the past include advocating for additional funding to go towards the Housing Production Trust Fund, which is one of the major sources of funding for the creation of affordable housing in the city, as well as the Home Purchase Assistance Program, which is a major down payment assistance program here in Washington, D.C. that enables folks who might not usually be able to afford to buy a home, able to buy a home here in the city. I believe that it is important to be educated and informed as part of the advocacy process, because those who are directly impacted by the affordable housing crisis are best equipped to advocate for affordable housing policies and programs. HAT aims to, like I said, empower individuals so that they can learn about the legislative process, so that they can learn about different policies and programs that exist in the district as they currently are, and then be able to advocate for necessary changes, funding increases, etc., to those policies and programs. I think trying to understand the legislative process as someone who doesn't necessarily have an advocacy or a policy background can feel really difficult, from understanding how a bill goes on to become a law, from understanding kind of even our electoral process here in DC, you know, how we have the DC Council and the mayor, kind of having an understanding of that can feel like a lot to people who aren't actively involved in sort of the back end part of that process. As for roadblocks and difficulties when it comes to the advocacy process, of course, sometimes there are losses. I tend to try to see the advocacy process as sort of a long game and understand that just because something doesn't work out the first time we try to advocate for it doesn't mean that it won't work in the future. And then I also think that there are a number of challenges when it comes to budget season in DC. Sometimes things pop up out of nowhere and you have to respond to them. An example of this was last year during budget season. Seemingly out of nowhere, the DC Council proposed cutting the Affordable Housing Preservation Fund, and we sort of had to, on the fly, come up with a rapid response to that. We put together a big petition drive, sent it out to all of MANNA supporters, and we were able to stop that. So budget season definitely keeps you on your toes. For how to get involved with HAT specifically, HAT holds our monthly meetings every month on the first Monday from 6:30 p.m. to about 8:30 p.m. But there are a lot of other ways that you can get involved in housing advocacy in the city as well. There are a ton of community events that are often hosted by the DC Department of Housing and Community Development. The DC Office of Planning hosts a number of community events.